Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back. I have to tell you, this is the most thing I've ever seen. I mean, that's saying a lot. This is like a Saturday Night Live skit. Rittenhouse prosecutor Binger led clown show of firearm fallacies, Dana Lush. Now, she's very pro 2A, Second Amendment, I think source for the NRA, but that's a different issue. This genius, Binger, the prosecutor in the Rittenhouse case, there's his picture. This mental pygmy picked up something that looks like an AR-15, I think it's something else, but similar, and pointed it. Now, they can't say he pointed it right at the jury because the jury, you can't take photographs of them, but right in their direction with a whole courtroom full of people. Now, this guy's supposed to be a lot of education. Don't confuse intelligence with formal education. This moron, especially right after the Alec Baldwin nonsense, if somehow, by a fluke of 10,001 like Alec Baldwin, with his finger on the trigger, more or less, if that fires, can you imagine? It'd be like a bad movie. The prosecutor shoots one of the jurors during closing arguments. They wouldn't even do that in the Wild West. Anyway, let's read on, and I'll tell you what I really think. This is incredible. Gosha County Attorneys Tom Binger and James Krausberg figures in a clown show of a prosecution against defendant Kyle Rittenhouse, most notably with their overt lack of basic understanding of firearms, gun rights advocate and radio host Dana Lush said Monday. Lush, a former spokesperson of Virginia-based NRA, told Fox News Primetime that Binger proved his need for basic firearms training when he flagged the entire courtroom by mishandling an Armalite-style rifle with his finger on the trigger and the stock not shouldered properly. He went on to compare Binger and Kraus to Will Ferrell and John Reilly's never-do-well characters of 2008 film Step Brothers. After some of the arguments I have heard from what I'm calling the Brendan and Dale of the Step Brothers law firm, Binger flags the entire courtroom and jury, flagging meaning he's waving the weapon at them. And be honest, I'm surprised that a bailiff or a state trooper in the courtroom didn't intervene. Now, here's the deal. She's right. We just had the Alec Baldwin fiasco. And whether you agree with one side or the other or have an opinion doesn't matter. Somebody died. Accidentally, I believe, but we'll see. This genius, all he had to do was, there's 2 or 3 probably deputy sheriffs right in the courtroom, if not local law enforcement. He could call one of them over and say, could you check this weapon before I show it to the jury to see if it's safe? Right in front of him. No, he was just told that it was safe, from what I gather. Now, that sound familiar? That's what Baldwin said. And she's right. I'm surprised a bailiff or a state trooper in the courtroom didn't intervene. Maybe they're afraid of losing their jobs. I don't know. Something else in the closing remarks that are interesting to me, Klaus, a.k.a. Dale Bobber, said that there is no left or right-handed firearms. Well, actually, there is. Host went on to say she believes Rittenhouse, who was charged with deaths of Huber and Rosenbaum, showed better firearms discipline in court, exhibit videos of that night in August 2020 than the 2 prosecutors trying the case against him. Yeah, because Rittenhouse knows firearm etiquette and safety. These 2 idiots, it's incredible to me. I can't believe he waved it around with his finger on the trigger. She knows that the media and political left have tried to make the case about race, when in fact it was about white, then minor shooting 3 white men. He's turned 18 since that incident. All I saw was a white convicted pedophile who got out of a mental institution and decided to go to a riot and help burn down black-owned businesses, another white domestic abuser whose charges including strangulation and kidnapping, and another white criminal who was carrying a firearm. That's the one that ended up, of the three, not dying. I forget what charge he had. He lost his permit to carry the handgun. And those other two is true. One was a domestic abuser, included strangulation and kidnapping, and the other one, I can't say what he did to minor boys because this is YouTube. Rittenhouse attorney Mark Richards had maintained in court filings that from that July, and Rosenbaum was convicted of having sex with a minor in Arizona in 2002. It was prohibited from possessing firearms. It was a lot worse than that, but it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to stop right here on this picture and finish the rest of this video. Now, I just want you to think for a minute. I understand his motivation. His motivation was showing just how fearful it is for somebody to point one of those guns at you. I get it. I think it's stupid, but I understand why he thought about doing it. Here's a guy that works with law enforcement all the time, at least theoretically. All local prosecutors do. District attorneys, they all do. And right after, what's it been? 3 weeks since the Alec Baldwin incident? This genius pulls this out in the courtroom. Now, here's the ironic part to all this. This mental pygmy, the prosecutor, one of the charges against Rittenhouse is endangering other people. I forgot the exact verbiage. Endangering other people by pointing a firearm at him. And here's this idiot waving it around with his finger on the trigger all over the courtroom toward the jury. Why isn't he charged? Why isn't he charged with endangering the lives of other people? He won't be, though. Interesting why he won't be. This is insane. This is insane. I don't understand what happens to a human's brain when they become a progressive leftist. Maybe it is a mental disorder. I don't know. I used to use a line all the time when I was a city councilman in the early 2000s in upstate New York. When somebody said or did something incredibly stupid, that I don't have enough experience in the mental health field to give you an answer. And everybody used to laugh. But I was about 9-10 serious. Look at this guy. He's doing exactly what he's charging Rittenhouse with doing. A felony, I might add, if I'm not mistaken. At least a Class A misdemeanor minimum. It's amazing to me. And I did watch the video, which I won't be able to show here, of course, because this is YouTube. And in the background, towards the door that comes in the courtroom, I believe was a deputy sheriff. Looked like he was. Or it might have been a local police officer, but he looked like a deputy sheriff. Now, he didn't have it up for very long. I was waiting for the sheriff to come in the video to come down and say, whoa, dude. Hang on. Let me check the rifle first. You never pointed at anybody, ever, let alone put your finger on the trigger. I don't know much about guns. I am a 2A advocate because I believe in the Constitution. But anybody with 3 brain cells connected knows that this is way over the line. And here he is giving his closing argument that convinced the jury when this whole trial is going to end up being about not some of the witnesses he chastised credibility or Rittenhouse credibility. It's going to be his credibility that turns the tide in this thing. He's doing everything possible to lose this case. Those who've been following it all, watch some of the highlights when he questions people. It's incredible. He actually starts to argue with his own witnesses that he called. It's amazing to me. I don't know if this guy's a genius and smart like a fox, because Rittenhouse shouldn't have been charged. Now, I will say this, not in his defense, but just to tell the truth. I have no doubt that he was under incredible pressure from the local progressive whack jobs nationwide and locally there in Wisconsin to charge Rittenhouse. He charged him less than 2 days after the incident with very little evidence, very little interviews, DNA checks, all that stuff, autopsy reports, the works. So what he did was he arrested him and charged him and then tried to build a case. And that's what progressives do. They charge you and then try to build a case. It's backwards. You get the evidence. When it points in a certain direction, no matter where it points, that's where the prosecutor should go. And that's the way it used to work. First-year law student knows that. I don't know what's going to happen to this guy's career. Maybe he's going to be doing a lot of divorce court and real estate closings after this. I really don't know. But it's amazing to me. And I'll tell you the truth. Once he stops being a prosecutor, which is probably soon, if he goes into private practice or goes into a law firm, and he suggested to me is to be my attorney, I'm being charged with something, and he's my attorney, I would laugh out loud. I wouldn't take this guy as an attorney if he was free, or he might even pay me. So we're going to see. So this part of the trial is over. All the courtroom stuff is over. I'm not sure if they gave the instructions to the jury yet. I think the judge said it'll take about an hour, so I'm not sure, but I know both closing arguments by both sides, the prosecution and the defense is over. And then this guy pulls this. Now, I will have to say, I don't know what he was thinking besides I'm going to scare the hell out of the jury to give them an idea what it's like to have a gun pointed at you. But I don't know if this is just off-the-wall theatrics or this guy is that stupid and reckless. Anyway, folks, tell me what you think, besides the fact that the guy will never be bringing the potato salad to the next Mensa picnic. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.